Welcome into Groomer's Take. We're going to talk some MLB World Series preview today. DeMar DeRozan visiting Toronto last night. Sheldon Keefe talking about lessons again, the Leafs in general. But really, we're going to start this show off with the NHL news that happened this afternoon, that Stan Bowman resigns as Blackhawks GM after the sexual assault investigation that happened around 10 years ago when Chicago won their first Stanley Cup. This has been an escalating story. The investigation is apparently now done. It's really a shame that it happened, of course, because I believe it's a power. It's an abuse of power within an NHL program, and you hate to see it both on the coaching side and on the player side. So Bowman resigns. Obviously, we saw probably that was going to come, but really now Gary Bettman is apparently meeting with Joel Quenneville and Cheveldayoff. I'm sorry, I don't remember his first name, but Chevy was a assistant at the time back then. And of course, Joel Quenneville was the coach. I don't like to dig deep into these sort of things. These are kind of like the black eye of sports, and I like to talk about the fun of sports, whether it's whatever, even if I'm bashing the Leafs for as long as I can. But this is the news coming down today. I really don't have anything else to say on it, but I hope the right thing is done in the end and the people that deserve to be punished get punished. Speaking of hockey, Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane, and 3 other Blackhawks, they will maybe not be in the lineup tomorrow night when the Toronto Maple Leafs face them, which means maybe the Toronto Maple Leafs can get a win and get off the schneid here. But first I want to look at the Blackhawks side of it. This is maybe the worst start they've had in as far as I can remember. They're 0-5. They're getting booed off the ice. They're not clicking. They brought in Fleury. Everything's looking terrible. And of course, this might be happening internally, and then it spreads to the ice, but we don't see what's going on the outside. It's just a really tough time right now to be in the Chicago Blackhawks organization, and really I hope in the end they can get back to square, they can get back to normal, because it's a historic franchise, and right now it's going through a really hard time. With that being said, let's focus back on hockey. The Leafs have not been playing well. Can the Leafs go in there and win a game? Sure, it can. Are we going to freak out in the Toronto media about the Toronto Maple Leafs right now? Yes. Is it justified 100%? Because it all starts at the top. It's who's bringing in these players, who's paying them, who's coaching them, why aren't they getting it done? They're not injured right now. They're a pretty healthy bunch, and they look awful. And really what I look at is that they're slow. They're just a slow hockey team. There's no urgency, and it was tough. I mean, Leafs Hurricanes last night, you knew, we know that Carolina's a good team. The Hurricanes are a very good team. Keefe saying that there was lessons to learn at the end of this game. It was good to face a team that had Stanley Cup power, Stanley Cup contender. Well, that's what you are supposed to be. That's what the Toronto Maple Leafs are meant to be. And they're not there. The fact that you're using the term lesson, how many years can we use the term lesson, and that the team got better through this? No, they didn't. Those were the wrong choice of words. Maybe that's the kind of wording you want to put out to the media, and I hope behind closed doors you're a lot more pissed off than that, because what we're seeing on the ice is horrible. Is it early? Yes. But I mean, I've been preparing for this kind of sadness my entire life. My dad, other people's dad, they've been dealing with this forever. So what really is the change? Again, I kind of learned now it's too early to ever get crazy about this. But like I said a few episodes ago, I'm scared. I am really starting to get scared that all of this is going to be a waste, an absolute waste. I want to talk more on the Hurricanes and how good they looked. Of course, Freddie Anderson, ex-Leaf, now there. Of course, maybe help the guy to get away from Toronto, away from the media. And we look at the Mrazek-Anderson deal, but I agree it was time for Anderson to leave. And let's not forget, Mrazek, great defensive team in front of him. Now Freddie's playing in front of or behind a very good defensive team, so that's going to help him. The Leafs didn't play good defensive hockey in front of Anderson when he was here, so it's a big difference. And the term on these two goalies, I believe it's only 1 year, or Freddie got one less year than Mrazek, and I think there's only a $700,000 cap. I'm going on a tangent because I don't really know anything that I'm talking about right here, but these are things that I just quickly realize or I quickly read, and it frustrates me, but they'll turn around. It's October still, but this is not a start that you would want as the Toronto Maple Leafs. If you're going to have a slump, then make that slump right now. Last night's shootout in Ottawa. Washington at Ottawa. I believe the final was 7-5. That was fun. I watched it quickly today on YouTube. All the highlights, a lot of goal scoring. You love it. I love seeing Brady Tkachuk back on the ice. I love seeing Ovi score. I love seeing Ovi do anything now, whether it's on the ice or off. Handing a stick and a puck to a fan out in the crowd. It was wonderful to see. I like it a lot. DeMar DeRozan came back to Toronto last night as a member of the Chicago Bulls. And it was a good game, but I mean, again, the Raptors are going to be in a building phase. Thank goodness they're playing at home. It's not a 5-year drop-off. We're all worried about that, right? But DeMar DeRozan back, and really the Chicago Bulls off to their first 4-0 start since the Michael Jordan era. I thought that was pretty cool. The Chicago Bulls have always been a team that I've kind of looked at growing up because of Michael Jordan, and ever since, I don't know, the Elton Brand days, if you could remember that name from 20 years ago or whatever it was, that's when I thought they were going to take the step. And then Jalen Rose was there. No, D Rose was there. And that didn't work out because of his injury, but it was cool seeing him in a Chicago Bulls uniform. I really like that a lot. But cool. Hey, Chicago Bulls off to a great start. Gotta love that. The Raptors, I think this is what we can expect from them throughout the whole season. It's going to be a bit of a growing phase. There's not going to be any guys putting up 30 points all the time. It's going to be a very balanced team. And what I like about that is you can learn how to play with a balanced team and still make the playoffs, be 5 to 10 games above 500 and make the playoffs. So I haven't watched a lot of the Raptors. I hope to watch a bit more. But that's my quick take on it. World Series preview tonight. I'm kind of on the fence with this. I don't really know what way I want to go. We've got Alex Anthopoulos' Atlanta Braves, and what kind of grinds my gears, geez, I didn't want to talk about this, but he kind of sells everything in Toronto, brings in a pretty good core to have that run, and the Jays had that run for a couple of years there, and then as soon as he could get out, he did, because he knew this team, the Toronto Blue Jays, were going to be failing. He goes to Atlanta, he does a good job there, they had young prospects, he brought some guys in, and this team's good. What I like about this team is they're stingy. I'm going to use the word stingy here. I like their rotation. It doesn't really blow the roof off, but it gets the job done. And their lineup just battles day in and day out. I've always been a Braves fan, kind of, mostly because I love their hat more than anything. But I like their old school guys like Glavine, Maddox, Chipper Jones. I loved when those guys were there. Schmaltz. I loved all of them. So part of me really wants to cheer for the Braves. Not one little inch of me wants to cheer for the Houston Astros, for obvious reasons. But I really want to cheer for Dusty Baker. This guy has been in a lot of different places. I really want him to win a World Series. He's a future Hall of Famer. I just like the guy a lot. I think he's a great manager. I love the way he interacts with the media. I love how he doesn't really take any BS from the media. So it's weird. I'm gonna tune in for tonight's game. I'm gonna try and get a feel for it. I think Houston's going to win. I think the Houston baseball team is going to win. But hey, ask me tomorrow morning again. It's kind of weird. Anybody else out there want Dusty Baker to win? Because I sure do. Maybe I'll take a Houston win if that means Dusty Baker's getting a World Series. All right, that's a little jaunt I have for you today. Groomer's Take. Bye-bye.